Hello guys, new ZSL contests were opened and that means that new type of tracks will be created, and this time it's something unique. It's first time when you have pre-built it pattern of the track and specific size. So it should be interesting one. And the first track, compact Crazynes, and honestly I wouldn't say it's hard track, it's okay. Some elements are fun. You have some places where you can crush your soulbox and hit barriers or just landing not perfectly and lose the speed, but I would say like 90% of players of ZSL will finish this track in different speed, in different pace, but they will definitely finish. Cube Compact, well, last couple of ZSL tournaments I played a lot of tube tracks, so I some kind of master it, and I still don't really like tubes, but I know some people who do love them because tubes have own unique way how you need to drive them, especially if it's outside, or you can create some like weird elements like here after the 5th checkpoint where you need to do like not standard way how to drive the soulbox. And yes, the main problem for me is all that checkpoints, and it feels like astrologists proclaim the week of speed checks and speed check jumps, and if you understand my reference then you definitely over 25, but there is definitely a lot of speed checks during this ZSL tournament. Transitional Tundra, and as you probably already know, I'm not a big fan of all these icy tracks, icy loops, icy tubes. I believe because I just don't understand the ice and how you're supposed to drive it, and definitely I don't like combination of ice and tubes. And I would say part of this track I finished just with the luck, where you need to go like vertical barrier into jumping into the snowy part, because you have so lack of control of your soulbox, so it was just pure luck for me to finish that. But after this one you basically don't control your soulbox, you just finish by leading the gravity, so I believe you just can not steer at all. So for me it's pretty RNG tracks in terms of how I can drive it. Magnolia by the Mao, and pretty interesting and weird track I would say, because all this transparent part, it's like ice, it's not glass, so you completely lose grip there, so you need to plan your steering, plan where you need to put your soulbox, and there is some speed check jumps in this track where you need to build your speed, like for example before jump to the second checkpoint I go outside of the road to have more time on the fence to build more speed, because without it I never made the jump. The next part, which would be pretty hard, is the poles that's steering on the road, and the last jump into the finish where you can fall off or accidentally hit the glass, or in this case ice, and lose all your grip and fell off from the track. So yet again I would say this is pretty hard track with two different speed checks, and you need to take it into account. Onyx Pocket Dimension. So I wouldn't say it's a hard track, but I'm slightly concerned on all these rocks which use as barriers. So ZSL have limit of 4,000 blocks, and I honestly don't know is it higher number or not, but it could be, or even if not, people with pretty slow computer could have some struggle during playing such tracks where all these rocks are separate elements. The track itself are not so hard. It's pretty understandable where you need to go. The only element where I or anyone could take off guard, it's between 4th and 5th checkpoints, near the 5th one, the crossroads, where you have pretty narrow gap to drive and then really sharp corner. But other than that, I would say it's more or less easy track, where your main goal is finding perfect line and not survive. Pennywise Revenge by Codewalt. Themes of this track are nice, fun, well, if horror movie could be fun. But these tracks made me struggle on one of the checkpoints. I spent like 5-6 attempts trying to find the last checkpoint. I always miss it because it's hidden and you need to go completely way up before the finish, and usually I try to minimize my time and not always going really up. So yeah, I wouldn't say this track have some really hard elements, but all these sharp U-turns on the 1st and 2nd checkpoints are pretty hard one, and you need to go slightly higher to pass through the jump and not touch the floor to maintain the maximum of your speed for the last checkpoint, which arguably you also could say that this is a speed check, but I don't know, what do you think? But other than that, I would say it's medium hard, because track forgive you some of your driving mistakes and you still could finish it. Asphalt Twist. Well, surprisingly, first chunky clunky track where I would say most of elements not aligned, and each jump that you made here is giving you probability to lose wheel and you can not finish it. And honestly, I don't know, is it my luck or finally my skills that I finished this track and finish pretty earlier on the lobby, but then I have never improved my time, so questionable about skill. (777) Ultrarun by Half Queen, and at the first I thought that it could be pretty easy track, but then you have small speed check jump and then really weird or jump or transition to the 3rd checkpoint, which I probably did not as after intended that, because I think you should go higher and then made some loop or U-turn, and I was just happily through on correct position. And yet again, at the end, you have speed check, jump into the finish, which I don't know with this booster, will you have enough speed if you will be slightly slower or not. But still, if you're struggling at some point of elements and you're, for example, doing like in 3-wheel, you probably won't gonna make it to this part, into the finish. So yet again, you have this weird speed check jump into the finish. Terrarium by St. Nicholas. I enjoy playing this track, and I think it's slightly narrow road, which is made your extra level of hardness, but the all way where and how you can do all this transition and jumps and skip some of the parts of the track, I believe this will be the most hard and interesting part for people who will chasing and grinding world record for this track. I wouldn't say it's easy track, it's more like medium track with couple of hard elements. Big plus for me, it's scenery and there is no like any speed check, jump speed check. climbing, but as you know, St. Nicholas usually do pretty neat AFK moments, so let's see one of them here. It's a really slow, interesting jump, and I don't know if there is fans or not, but you will spend a lot of time on this half pipe going back and forth. Coob Chaos by Job V, and at the first glance I thought it's not really hard track, but then I think after made intentional changing of layout, because it's like transparent, and at some point he just remove barriers, so your track become like harder to see. And for me, I don't know, maybe it's because of my video settings or something, it was pretty hard to understand where you need to go on some point of this loop. But other than that, it's not hard track. So I would say the hardness of this track is that the track is transparent by itself, so you need to pay more attention to all of elements and what's happening on the track, because it's pretty distracting. Rubik's by Ultimate Billy. So idea that we're in Rubik's Cube, and let's see how it made. And I would say it made in Ultimate Billy style with couple of, yes, speed check climbs, and I failed here so many times. And I think if there wouldn't be all these fans to slightly push you to the road, I would fail even more. So for me it was more hard track than medium, because you need to be really precise on some elements of this track to maintain your speed, because without it you won't be doing all these weird loops on this track. Dreamscape by Dragon Boy. So at the beginning, at the start, I thought it will be really hard track because of the first descent and then like doing all these fast sharp turns. But then when you try to drive, it's, as you can see, this track don't force you made like big steering adjustment, you just drive, and in reality there is no really hard elements, they're all doable, but some of their combination could be really tricky. So it's medium hardness track. I would say I like. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy part 1. There definitely will be part 2, because people create a lot of track. And if you don't see your track on this video, there's several options. One, it will be in next one. Second one, it's so hard that I didn't do it and I need more time to finish it. And third one, your track didn't meet all requirements for this contest. Either it's amount of blocks, after time, or any other rule. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave likes, subscribe, leave comments. Bye!